Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome back to this video series on Japji Sahib in preparation for the European Yoga Festival 2021. My name is Sukhdev Kaur and I'm sharing with you from the Guru Ramdas Ashram in Rajama, Estonia. And I will be reflecting with you my humble knowledge on the 38th Pauri. So, a little recap. We've gone a long way, almost all the way to the end in the work in Japji Sahib. From the very beginning, where we spoke about the hukam and how to listen to that hukam and how it goes on through all the work we have to do here in life, all the way through the 5 blue ethers. So we went from the beginning to the very end in this journey of the soul. After being reflecting on the higher, this blue ethers, which is the place where we go in our meditations, which is the place of knowledge, the place where we go after life as we release from the 5 elements. Guru Nanak is bringing us to in the 38th Pauri back into a reality and bringing to our mind and to our eyes a picture which is very easy to understand, very clear, which summarizes all of the work that we've gone through in the Japji. So it's kind of like a reminder of everything we talked about earlier. And this picture that Guru Nanak is creating is set up. The scene is happening in the workshop of the goldsmith. So he has different tools, he has different things that he needs in order to create a jewel. This time we're creating a coin, which is the coin of yourself. We are giving ourselves a new shape, a new form, which is going through that transformation of creating something like Yogi Bayan would tell us, from coal into a diamond. All the pressure that it needs, all of the work that it needs to be happening so that we can create that gold which will radiate. So that we can live constantly, self-sufficiently in our radiant body. So we are in the workshop of the goldsmith. There is a furnace, which is where the fire is being burnt. The fire we need for melting the metal. We need a very strong, good fire. And the fire needs a constant flow of air, very good circulation, so that it will be strong and healthy. There is also goldsmith's patience that he requires so that he can go from the beginning to the end, creating that project from the idea that what he wants to create into that actual process of creating it, which is a very creative process, and to bringing it all the way till the end. To have that piece of art. Then there is the anvil, which is that big stone which is shaping, giving shape to that coin, that piece of gold. There's the hammer, which is constantly being hitting the metal so that it will take the form of the mold. There's the mold which will create that coin as well. And then we have the metal itself, which is the most important thing, and that's ourselves. Guru Nanak is also reflecting here on the Nam, which is we are creating our own identity through this process of transformation. So let's go a little bit more line to line. Jat Bahara Tiraj Sunyar. So let self-control be the furnace. Just like a furnace is very well built, fire will not go out of it. So self-control means control of the senses, of the 5 thieves, the 5 passions that are related to the elements and the senses. May we be able to control our minds so that we keep ourselves aligned to that hukam, to that divine wisdom, that divine intention, which is being spiritual, to remember that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and so that all of our actions, thoughts will be aligned with that divine hukam. So, Jat Bahara, so let self-control be the furnace. Tiraj Sunyar is the patience of the goldsmith. Aharnamat Ved Hatyar, so may we be able to bring intellect, mind, knowledge, transform it into wisdom. And that is in the anvil and with the hammer, maybe we'll be able to chisel our intellect so that it will transform itself into wisdom, into spiritual wisdom, and to maturity, into also what we call emotional intelligence, is emotional wisdom. Then Po Kala Agantap Tao. So fear, Po is fear. And may fear be that bellows, the air, the constant flow of air, which is fanning that fire. The fire is what we call the tapas in yogic language. The tapas is that inner fire which we are creating every time we move the navel, every time we work on the core muscles, on our 3rd chakra, on transforming that animal energy into human energy. So that physical fire which we use to create the world, to do what is right in this world. And that fire is fed by fear. So fear is an interesting word which we have been constantly for at least 1.5 years feeling in an everyday basis with what's happening all around us. So the problem is that when fear is directed towards the fear of something, can we use that energy of fear in order to create, in order to co-create a better world, in order to push ourselves to do the right thing, to create justice, to create harmony within the world? Fear is not going to go anywhere. Our relationship to fear is what needs to change. So, fear of what is the question? Can we have such a fear that is more of a respect, or being at awe with the universe, being at awe with the Creator, with the creation and the Creator? That's what we call the fear of God. Fear of missing God in every breath, missing that experience of the divine, missing seeing it with our eyes in every person that we meet, forgetting that experience of divine within ourselves with every breath. Can we have that fear that we're not going to experience God every day? So can that fear, that awe, that respect, that longing for divine experience, can that be what feeds the fire so that we can use it in every action, use it with every word? This is what Guru is telling us here, Guru Nanak. So that Panda Pao Amrita Titir Dal, so that we will bring that metal melted in that crucible of love, that cup of prayer, that mold is made out of love. Can we transform that fear into true love? Love for ourselves, love for the humanity, that energy of love, which is what will melt that amrit, that nectar of the name. So in that crucible of love, that's where we experience the true Nam. Yeah. So the nectar of the Nam will be minted there, and that's what will produce that coin, that Kardiya Sabad Sachi Taksal. So that true coin of the Shabad, that which cuts the ego, that which cuts with whatever is not serving the soul, the Sachi Taksal. So that true coin of the name will be created only by using love, by using kindness, and by being in touch with that inner wisdom. So the last two lines, Jinko Nadara Karamatinkar Nanak Nadari Nadara Nihal. So this, the whole setting that we just talked about of creating that coin. Oh, by the way, and that coin, it's interesting that it's not a jewel that we're creating, but it's a coin that is used for trading, that coin of gold, which is living in that radiant body of yours. Can we create ourselves so radiant, so full of love and compassion and kindness for ourselves and the others, that we can trade with this, we can share that with humanity. It's not going to stay with us, but we want to share it, we want to give it, we want to create network with it. So in that way, that coin, which is a transaction mechanism that is touching many people's hands and souls, so that may our radiance be so great that we can use it to serve humanity, to contribute to the wealth of the world by working on ourselves. So the last two lines are talking about that compassion. When we do this work, when we receive this blessing, that this karma, which is not what's good or bad, but karma is what is the result of our actions. So by doing this work, we can only do this by receiving the grace of God, that glance of grace that is helping us to go to this work, that bhakti, that humility, to work on this. And so Nanak reminds himself, the kind and compassionate one always will uplift this. Nihal, like when we say, Bole so Nihal, this is exalted. All of those who work on this, who work on themselves like this, will be exalted. So I'm going to finish this by sharing what Yogi Bayan says about it. Says, this Pauri gives you the power to rewrite your destiny. And destiny is what brings us from that hukam into reality. That's what we create of our lives. So may we have the wisdom, the humility to work on ourselves physically, emotionally, spiritually, so that we may become that coin and share it with the world. Thank you for listening, and we will be meeting. Look forward to seeing you on the Japji Sahib Japa, which we will have in a few days. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Jat pahara tiraj sunyar, ahran mat ved hatyar. Pau khala agan taptao, पांडा पाओ अमृत तित टाल कड़िय शब्द सची टकसाल जन को नदर कर्म तिनकार नानक नदरी नदर निहाल।